Okay, as long as my head doesn't go above the top of that lava lamp, I should still be in frame? Is it too obvious that I couldn't come up with a vlog intro for this month? Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and it's like the evening of the 31st of January, and I haven't done my monthly vlog yet, so you might be forgiven for thinking that I've phased them out of existence or something. No, I am still doing them. Case in/end point, I'm doing one now. Hello to you. Yeah. It's been a bit of a month, you don't say, but I couldn't come up with a decently funny vlog intro sketch thing in time, so you're just gonna have to live with me working out how to be in frame and hoping that it was indeed an accurate acid test, because I never know how to frame these things. I blame you, phone, because I'm filming on my phone, as I do. Having said that, I'm hoping that 2017 is the year where I finally get a DSLR. I say finally, it only really became an aspiration of mine, like, last October, November. It's not a pressing concern of mine, but it would severely up the quality of my videos, which brings me on to, like, the first thing of this vlog, and that's, well, where do I begin with it? I guess general 2017 banter. The new year happened on the 1st of January, or between the 31st and the 1st of December and January of 2016 and 17 respectively. Date maths, it makes sense, trust me. Also, we had Chinese New Year recently, but I'm getting hugely off topic already. New Year's resolution, that's what I'm getting at. My thing for this year, my New Year's resolution was just to get a job. Boring, I know, but I need to support myself somehow. And that's kind of my feeding into what I'm about to say. I've been thinking, again, about starting up some sort of Patreon campaign kind of thing. And I've discussed this before, but this was a couple of years ago, before I was any good at making anything on YouTube, but I was still doing it anyway for some reason, and look where I am now. But yes, I'd considered it before, and I sort of hit a wall with that idea, and no one would have been interested anyway. Now that I have people who might be interested, I think it's time for me to reconsider that whole avenue and starting up a thing on Patreon. The thing that's stopping me with that is I don't have any incentives. I don't want to hide any of my videos behind paywalls. I don't want to restrict number of views of my videos by saying, oh yes, if you donate X amount of money, then you can see my videos 24 hours in advance, because first of all, I'm not going to make videos 24 hours more quickly, and I don't want to restrict my videos or my content. But the problem then becomes, well, what do I offer as an incentive for people to give me money, because that's what Patreon is. And all I can think of is, oh hey, credits, which honestly, seeing Patreon credits in other people's videos, it tends to just get in the way and clutter things up and no one really cares. And other than that, there's either, oh, make a Discord server. Oh wait, I already did that. I have friends on there and I'm not going to kick them out. I'm not going to, like, kick them out and then charge them a subscription fee. That would just be stupid. And then there's also the idea of, oh hey, maybe make the YSC subscription only, like paid membership fee only. But first of all, I don't think that would be legal because copyright, but also, again, that has a community. I'm not about to kick them all out and say, oh no, you need to pay from now on. That would just be the absolute dickissimoest thing to do. Dickissimo. That almost sounds like a, I don't know, like a gay Italian guy, like Dick Kiss. No, what? No. Stop it, Tess. So you see my dilemma. It would be nice to be able to financially support myself beyond just getting a part-time job, but I don't really know of any way of doing that. And I'm not about to ask you lovely people, because you know what, forget this whole train of thought. I'm not going to just ask you for money. That's like a terrible way to open this month's vlog, just a vague appeal into the ether for money, because that would just, you know what, forget it. I'm half tempted to just cut that entire section of the vlog out, but no, I think it needs saying, like, the whole thing that I've considered Patreon, but for the moment not going with it because I don't know what I could possibly bring to the table as far as that goes. So you're aware, the thought's been in my head, but that's as far as it's gone. In other news, well, as of last week-ish, this week just gone, last week, Cursed Mountain ended my Let's Play of Cursed Mountain, and in its place, we now have Klonoa Lunatea's Veil, and I'm so glad to finally be playing that game. If you want to see my full thoughts on that, then just go and watch that series. Side thought, YouTube's, like, end screen features. You know how you can either have annotations on a video, which you can have anywhere within the video, but the downside is they don't appear on mobile devices, or you can have those things that appear within the last 20 seconds of a video that either say, oh, subscribe and here's my channel icon, or here's someone else's channel icon, or here's a video or a playlist or a thing that's curated based on your personal watch history. So those. I've been trying to enjoy those features. You may have noticed I tried to integrate them into Cursed Mountain with the end slates of that, but then I realised that it's surprisingly strict with where it allows you to place various end screen elements, and it just didn't work out. It looked dumb, so I've just used annotations for that. I'm trying it again for Lunatea's Veil, or I'm never going to break the habit. According to the game, it's Lunatea, but I'm just not going to stop calling it Lunatea, if you don't mind. So, I've been trying to make the end slates of those use the end cards as opposed to annotations, and for the most part, that seems to be working, except, really frustratingly, and I had this problem when I tried it with Cursed Mountain as well. I don't know whether it's because the playlist is new or because it's only got one video in it at the moment, but for some reason, whenever I try to make a link to the series playlist for Lunatea's Veil, it says, missing playlist. This will instead show up as a curated video suggestion, next to a huge fuck off label that says playlist on the end slate. Thanks, YouTube. But that ended up fixing itself with Cursed Mountain, even though I ended up not using those end card things in the end for Cursed Mountain. So I'm hoping this will fix itself for Lunatea's Veil as well, but for the moment it looks fucking stupid. Getting to the end of the first episode, and then you got the thing in the top right corner for the next episode, which isn't there yet because that doesn't exist at the time of recording this, and a thing in the bottom left that says playlist, and then there's just a link to my review of Finland's Eurovision song, or at least that's what shows up for me. Actually, that's since changed to the UK entry review thing, which brings me on to another point, apart from, speaking of Let's Plays, Even the Ocean is still ongoing, but as of about 15 minutes before I started filming this, they made an announcement. Well, they didn't make it. Some website posted a report that Lucy Jones, the singer for the United Kingdom at Eurovision, had announced on one of the talk shows that she's been doing the rounds of lately that there are going to be minor changes made to her song before Eurovision. I fucking called it! Did we not say that the UK's national selection was so comparatively early in the year so it could have a revamp? Guess what's happening? And they say minor changes, so I'd imagine that it's not going to be, oh yes, Never Give Up On You, the disco remix featuring Sir Hat and a rap solo from Kanye West, who was back after representing the moon in Junior Eurovision with the song Wems in the Kazakh language, obviously. Tess, why do you do this? Why are you such a dumb noodle? Why do you go on these tangents that completely distract you from your original point? Well, regardless, I was right about that, and if it's a significant change, then it'll get its own segment in the revamp re-review in like March or April, whenever I do that for all the Eurovision songs that are bound to be revamped. And if it's not a major change, then it'll still get a mention, just won't get I can't speak. It will still feature in that video, it just won't get a dedicated segment. If you want to see how I did that last year, that's how I'm doing it again this year when it comes to reviewing revamped Eurovision songs. God, this vlog is a train wreck as far as staying on topic goes. Like, everything I'm saying makes perfect sense to me, but I feel like you'd have to be me to properly understand what I'm saying. Can I get some moral support here? Do any of you lovely people ever understand what I'm saying, or am I just rambling into a camera for no one's gratification but my own, and even then? Okay, that is one thing that I've noticed about myself fairly recently. I mean, it's kind of been a problem for a while, but it's definitely reared its head over this past month. Also, Ear, what are you doing? My mother's pointed it out, and now I've become painfully aware of it. I am so self-effacing. Like, in any of my videos, if I do something that's even slightly dumb, I'll just be like, oh my god, Tess, why don't you die? You're the worst person to have ever existed. And does that get old? I feel like that's getting really old really quickly, so I'm gonna try and stop that, but I'm just a naturally self-loathing person, apparently, so no promises there, but I'll do my best. Now, getting back onto a slightly more structured way of doing things. Eurovision reviews. Unless we have an internal selection announcement before then the next one's going to be Switzerland. I believe they choose on the 5th of February, so my review will be on the 6th. Beyond that, just next day reviews, they're going to keep happening. As far as Let's Plays go, obviously Lunatea's Veil just started, and Even the Ocean is still ongoing. I'm not sure how much of that game there is left, but I'm gonna stick with it because it's fun. Don't know what I'll be doing after that, although I do have at least 2 projects planned in the Let's Play department for the very near future. One's a versus, one's a co-op Let's Play, and that's all I'm going to say for the moment, but they're gonna be good! YSC, that's always a fun topic to bring up in these vlogs. Yep, that sure is still happening. My plan is to make the next edition happen in February. Like, I've not started work on it just yet, apart from some preliminary planning, but that is, like, the I am working on that, don't worry about it. It is going to happen. I'm not going to let that one be delayed by too much, if at all. Because at the moment, as of today, technically yesterday, but as of today, I've rolled over into my Semester 2 timetable for university, which I think it's really stupid that Semester 1 carries over into the end of January, but whatever. It's not my university. Well, I mean, it is my university, but I don't own the place, so I don't make the rules. There we go. So that means that I no longer have to do my photography module anymore. That's a long story, don't make me explain it, but I had to do photography just for the first semester of this year as like a special exemption kind of thing, and that's done now, so I have 3 hours a week more to myself, which means that I get Mondays off completely, because I mentioned before I had to do photography from 2 till 5 on a Monday evening, which I don't have to do now, so I have Mondays completely to myself, but like I said, I want to get a job at some point, so no promises. But for the time being, I have more free time, so I can dedicate that to making stuff, including the YSC. Speaking of making, and also the fact that I've gone over into Semester 2, that means that all my coursework and stuff for Semester 1 is done, and that is some stuff that I'm rather excited to share with you lovely people. So, working through the 5 main modules that I've done, photography, not really worth sharing that. That was just artsy-fartsy stuff to tick some boxes. Documentary. I'll keep you posted on that. I did do a documentary on, like, the history of independent cinema with one of my colleagues. I may link to that at some point. I don't know. I don't know if you... Would you lovely people be interested in seeing a 10-ish minute documentary that I voiced and co-wrote? Because that was a thing that I did. There was also a music video, which I will link in the description of this video, that was a long story. I was the first assistant director on that shoot, which basically meant I was in charge of keeping morale up, clapping the clapperboard, and making sure that stuff happened. And also, everyone on the project had to individually edit their own version of the music video, so that is a thing that I will link you to at the end of this video. I've lost count already, partly because my computer just went into screensaver mode in the background there, so... photography, documentary, music, video... Oh yeah, there was also a TV production that we did, where the whole point of everyone on our course was to do something behind the scenes, not in front of the camera, apart from doing, like, little video inserts. Like, the whole point of the program was for it to be a 30-minute variety news program. And that was supposed to be, I think, about 12 minutes of studio stuff, and then 18 minutes of VTs, or, you know, like, cutaways to, like, news reports. And so everyone had to do one of those, and then, on the day, like, manage the live switching between cameras and all that stuff. That happened. I could put a link to that, but the presenters were kind of the biggest complaint when it came to the feedback department, although I did do literally half of the VTs, which I'm not complaining about that. They just turned out alright. I did the opening credits, the closing credits, I animated the weather, I did a VT about the history of dance, and also cobbled together some footage of Elliot Harris from the Eurotrip doing some competitive dancing, because I managed to draft him in for an interview as part of the show, because we had to do 2 interviews, and I arranged one of those. So that happened. And then, what was the other thing? Radio! Oh yeah, that was kind of the big one. My radio module from university. I had to do a 10 to 15 minute radio, like audio-only documentary about Eurovision, which I have done, and that's finished, and I would love to upload that, but there are 2 kind of things stopping me with that. The first one is obviously copyright. It is full of Eurovision songs. I don't think there is any way YouTube would let that fly, so I may need to find a caveat to work around that. And second, I kind of want to re-edit bits of it now that I've submitted it and it's done and stuff, because there is some stuff that needs to change. Like, the ending, I feel like, needs a bit of work, and also it mentions, oh, the OJE had a hand in the 2016 UK national final, and they look to be set to do the same for 2000. Obviously, that's been and gone now, so I need to re-edit that. And the other thing within that is my radio teacher. Bearing in mind, this is the first thing that I've submitted to him as a piece of coursework, because I joined this university on the 2nd year, which is why I had to do photography. He heard my documentary, and this is the first thing of mine that he's heard, and he said, hey, you should consider actually sending this to the BBC at some point, especially if they do that pop-up radio station that they do for Eurovision sometimes. So I'm kind of holding off on uploading it, because that's a thing that might happen, so I don't know if they'd appreciate me uploading that ahead of time if I do send it to them. And also, kind of semi-related, off the back of that, my university has its own radio station, which I think will broadcast all the documentaries anyway, but it's like a really small, like, local area thing. I don't know if it has an online broadcast service. If it does, I'll link that in the description, otherwise I can't. But that's going to run the documentaries, and also, for about a month between April and May, it's run by students. It's a proper functioning radio station that's run by students. And as part of my course, I do have to do a 1-hour show on that that's assessed. But here's the thing. Based on the documentary that my radio teacher heard from me, he's just straight up offered me like a 4-week contract kind of deal where I do 4 1-hour shows once a week. And because of when the radio station is active, that coincides perfectly with Eurovision. So I'll be doing 4 radio shows on actual radio. Well, it's not. It's called FCOT, FCOT, FCOT FM. I think it's 87.7. I'd have to double check. But again, it's a local station, but still. So that's going to be something like, I don't know, the first week is the one I'm assessed on, so that's probably just going to be like a general Eurovision. And then the second week might just be like modern classics, and then the third week will be like songs from this year and last year, and then the fourth week will be after we've had the results, and that'll be like, oh, digesting the results, and here's the winner, and that sort of thing. So that's going to be fun. And I've swanned into this category of discussion, this topic if you will, with so much gusto, and now I've hit a wall because I think that's all I have to say about literally everything this month. It's been a busy month. I'm not going to comment on the recent news in the political world because I just don't want to get involved in that. Like my opinions and stance and reactions to all that is stuff that I'd rather keep personal. Not because I agree with it, because I don't agree with it, but I just don't want to bring that discussion into what is otherwise a fairly happy and cheery format, so you have to forgive me for not going into too much detail about those things, but I just made myself sad. Guess that's a sign that I should be ending the vlog then. So I'm sorry this has been so awfully rambly and crap as far as my vlogs go, but I got a new light bulb for my ceiling, so maybe you can see me a little bit better. That's like the most boring item of news, but you may have noticed. Anyway, ending the vlog. I have been, and will continue to be, Tessellating Hexagons, and I will see you in whichever video of mine you happen to choose to watch next, or my next live stream, because I do live streams. Well, anyway, see you around.